Hare Krishna, welcome to Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call. We are extremely fortunate to have His Grace Lila Purushottam Prabhuji here with us today. And Prabhuji will be enlightening us by walking us through Srimad Bhagavatam 4.25.10. But before I hand over the call to Prabhuji, I would request Guru Gauranga Prabhuji to read a brief introduction about His Grace Lila Purushottam Prabhuji. So Prabhuji, over to you. Prabhuji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you Mataji for giving me the opportunity to introduce Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam to all the devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Srila Gurudev. His Grace Lila Purushottam Prabhu is Diksha disciple of His Holiness Romapad Swami Maharaj. Prabhuji is originally from Odisha and is a natural devotee of Lord Jagannath and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu since his early age. It is more than 30 years that Prabhuji is practicing Srila Prabhupada's teaching and preaching vigorously. Currently working as a senior professor at IIT Kanpur, he sets an example of perfect grihastha. Since last 20 years, his house at IIT Kanpur hosts every single day complete morning and evening programs, and many IIT graduates participate this program. Also, IIT Patna, IIM Indore, and Dehradun city are his other places of preaching. He delivered many lectures on science of Bhagavad Gita in many important institutes around the world, including MIT. His tireless preaching efforts has brought many young IIT graduates into Krishna consciousness. Currently, he is serving as the director of ISKCON Gurukul Vrindavan and the director of Bhagavad Gita Pathshala at Dehradun. He was also the former president of ISKCON Kanpur. Recently, Prabhuji launched an online Bhagavad Gita course on the website learngita.com. This course has over 60 video lectures and 10 lessons, which presents Bhagavad Gita very scientifically. Also, during this current lockdown period in India, Prabhuji with some IIT Kanpur students are cooking and distributing every day 500 to 800 boxes of prasadam to the needy around the city of Kanpur. So without further delay, on behalf of Bhakti Sangha Japa Group, we would like to thank Prabhuji for your valuable time and association. Also sincere thanks to all the participants. Now I would like to request Prabhuji to take over the call. So Prabhuji, thank you for your association. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Lakshmi Mataji, Hare Krishna. All the devotees who are there, I'm blessed by your invitation to speak on Bhagavatam. I have already addressed, I think, couple of times to all of you, some of you at least, and I'm really honored to again be with you all. So let us start. Are you able to hear me properly?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you. So we will have a short kirtan and then we will start the discussion. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Janavalla Va Girivaradhari.
Gopi
Jasadanandana Bradadana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravana Chari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada.
Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada.
Jaya Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajacharya Stotra Pusra Srimad Bhagavatam Charana Ravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. ISKCON founder Acharya, Devotee founder Acharya Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to Guru and Gauranga. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 25. The characteristics of King Puranjana, Text 10. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Conference call, Japa session.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 5, Text 10. Asit Puranjano Nama Raja Raja.
Sorry to interrupt, but everybody will be on mute, and they will not.
Tasya Vigyata Namasid Sakha Vigyata Chestita Asit Puranjano Nama Raja Rajan Bruhasrava Tasya Vigyata Namasid Sakha Vigyata Chestita. Asit, there was. Puranjana, Nama, named. Raja, king. Rajan, O king. Bruhasrava, whose activities were great. Tasya, his. Abhigyata, unknown. Nama, of the name. Asit, there was. Sakha, friend. Abhigyata, unknown. Chastita, whose activities. Translation and purport. By His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. My dear king, once in the past lived a king named Puranjana, who was celebrated for his great activities. He had a friend named Abhigyata, the unknown one. No one could understand the activities of Abhigyata. Purport. Every living entity is Puranjana. The word Puram means within this body, within this form. And Jana means living entity. Thus, everyone is Puranjana. Every living entity is supposed to be the king of his body because the living entity is given full freedom to use his body as he likes. He usually engages his body for sense gratification. Because one who is in the bodily conception of life feels that the ultimate goal of life is to serve the senses. This is the process of karma kanda. One who has no inner knowledge, who does not know that he is actually the spirit soul living within the body, who is simply enamored by the dictation of the senses, is called a materialist. A materialistic person interested in sense gratification can be called a Puranjana. Because such a materialistic person utilizes his senses according to his whims, he may also be called a king. An irresponsible king takes the royal position to be his personal property and misuses his treasury for sense gratification. The word Brahstrava is also significant. The word Strava means fame. The living entity is famous from ancient times, for as stated in Bhagavad Gita 2.20, Najayate mriyate va. The living entity is never born and never dies. Because he is eternal, his activities are eternal, although they are performed in different types of bodies. Na hanyate, hanyamane sarire. It does not die, even after the annihilation of the body. So the living entity transmigrates from one body to another and performs various activities. In each body, the living entity performs so many acts. Sometimes it becomes a great hero, just like Hiranyakashipu and Kamsa, or in the modern age, Napoleon or Hitler. The activities of such men are certainly very great, but as soon as their bodies are finished, everything else is finished. Then they remain in name only. Therefore, a living entity may be called Brahstrava. He may have a great reputation for various types of activities. Nonetheless, he has a friend whom he does not know. Materialistic persons do not understand that God is present as the Super Soul. He is situated within the heart of every living entity. Although the Paramatma sits beside the Jivatma as a friend, the Jivatma or living entity does not know it. Consequently, he is described as Abhigyata Sakha, meaning one who has unknown friend. The word Abhigyata Chastita is also significant because a living entity works hard under the direction of the Paramatma and is carried away by the laws of nature. Nonetheless, he thinks himself independent of God and independent of stringent laws of material nature. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita 2.24, Achedyayam adayayam akledya asosya eva cha nitya sarvagata sthanur achalo ayam sanatanaha. This individual soul is unbreakable and insoluble and can be neither burnt nor dried, is everlasting, all-pervading, unchangeable, immovable, and eternally the same. The living entity is Sanatana, eternal, because it cannot be killed by any weapon, burnt into ashes by fire, soaked or moistened by water, nor dried up by air. It is considered to be immune to material reactions. Although his changing bodies is not affected by the material conditions, he is placed under the material conditions, and he acts according to the direction of his friend, the Super Soul. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 15.15, Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivisto mataha smriti jnanam apohanam cha. I am seated in everyone's heart. From me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. Thus the Lord as Paramatma is situated in everyone's heart, and he gives direction to the living entity to act in whatever way the living entity desires. In this life and in its previous lives, the living entity does not know the Lord is giving him a chance to fulfill all kinds of desires. No one can fulfill any desire without the sanction of the Lord. All the facilities given by the Lord are unknown to the conditioned soul. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sanyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So I thank all the Vaishnavas who are present. I feel the necessity of such association always protects me from the danger of Maya. You say devotional service is not what we do. Devotional service is that by which we are engaged. So, Vaishnavas, Sadhu, Guru, and Shastra. Sadhus, Vaishnavas are sadhus. Guru, our own spiritual master, our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada, all acharyas in all disciplic parampara, and Shastra, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita. They protect us. They are constant association which we should constantly seek out for. So on that note, again my gratitude to all of you. This is a very favorite chapter of mine, not only this chapter, this entire sequence, that is from Prachina Varishat, the sons, Pachetas, how Prachetas will be inspired by Narada to leave the comfort of the householder life or the royal palace and perform severe austerity. And there they will meet Lord Shiva, who will again inspire them to chant Krishna's name and perform severe austerities.
This is better.
And as they will be coming back after performing austerities, they will have audience with the Lord. Lord personally will appear in front of them, will bless them, and will give them some instruction. And after that, when they would return, again they will meet Naradji. And Naradji will again instruct them. So this is the Pracheta Narada. So while these Prachetas are performing severe austerities away from the royal palace, in the royal palace, Prachina Varishat is performing fruitive activity, animal sacrifices, to earn name and fame, to show that he is a big actor. And being kind to Prachina Varishat, because he has such wonderful sons called Prachetas, who are so devoted to the search for absolute truth, Narada took special affinity for Prachina Varishat, the father of Prachetas. And we saw that how Naradji showed to Prachina Varishat all the animals, they are being brutally killed in the name of sacrifice, and they are waiting in the skyway for the death of Prachina Varishat. Naradji said, "O king, they are waiting to feast upon your dead body, to torture your subtle body. They are all suffering because their life has ended in an unnatural manner. Currently, the whole world is suffering because of cruel killing of animals. The entire world has gone to lockdown. A mere virus could multiply itself so much that it has created a fear and cacophony in everyone's heart." So when Prachina Varishat saw the reality that he is actually in danger or of being severely punished by Yamaraj for his misdeeds, he would be punished by all the animals whom he has killed, he took shelter of Naradji. So Naradji would now instruct Prachina Varishat. So, so he is telling him an allegory of Puranjana. Who is Puranjana? In Bhagavad Gita also, in 5th chapter, it says, Navadvare Pure Dehi. In this body, human body has 9 gates. Normally, when we give up our body, we leave through one of these gates. 2 ears, 2 eyes, 2 nostrils, 1 mouth, that makes up 7. And other 2 are genital and anus. So these are all 9 gates. And how we depart from this world, will be known at the time of death, because some of the gates will be activated at that time. And people can easily know what destination I have achieved at the time of death, simply looking at the status of each gate. So Prabhupada is saying Puranjana means the embodied living entity. There are 8.4 million apartments, Pura. And all these 8.4 million apartments, each one of them can give us different kind of sense gratification. And we have all taken birth in all of them. All of them. In fact, Prabhupada gives the emphasis on the word Bruhasrava. That means at some point of time, in a specific body, we were very famous. So each one of us have already accepted an apartment in which we accrued a lot of fame. And Prabhupada is saying, Hiranyakashipu, likes of Hiranyakashipu, Ravana, Kamsa, and in modern day Hitler and Napoleon. So they are very, very famous. They perform some extraordinary activity. But as soon as body perished, everything that they stood for also entered into oblivion. Everything are finished with the body. So this knowledge is very important. Knowledge of the embodied soul that is suffering in this material world, asaswatam dukkhalayam, from time immemorial. We are all suffering. Suffering is the buzzword in this world. Everyone suffers here. Even if we may be very ignorant even to point out our own suffering, but still, nobody is freed from the suffering of birth, death, old age, and disease. Everybody has to go through these suffering. Just few hours ago, one of my students, he called me and informed that his younger sister, who was only 16-year-old, in fact, I had met her in August 2019 in Delhi, and she died. She fell from 9th-story building. While probably speaking to someone or walking without any proper attention to the boundary, somehow she fell down to the ground and died. Death is inevitable. Who and how will die, we don't know. Her father is absolutely dumb. I spoke to him. I said, my dear sir, we are all eternal. All that is happening his dress is snatched away or dress becomes old and worn out. And in this case, the suffering is unbearable for the parents because the dress was snatched away. But that can happen to any one of us. Any one of us. Because we do not know what kind of activities we have performed, what kind of karma we have accrued, what kind of destination we are subjected to, what kind of happiness and distress we have to go through while being in different apartment. In the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, we get introduced 5 different categories of Puranjana. Puranjana is an embodied soul, a conditioned Baddha Jiva. And there are 5 categories of Puranjana, as first chapter of Bhagavad Gita would introduce to all of us. And we can see in which category we belong to. First category of Puranjana is Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra was the elder brother of Pandu. Because he was born blind, Bhishmadev took a decision that Pandu will become the emperor, not Dhritarashtra. And throughout his life, Dhritarashtra could not digest it. If you see the whole history, Pandu, after becoming the emperor, he conquered the entire earth planet. And after he conquered, he felt all these are futile. This kingdom is futile. This so-called idea that I am the emperor and everybody are my servant is futile. The real master is Krishna and I am his servant. So when he got this realization, he gave up his kingdom, went to northern region near somewhere Himalaya along with his 2 wives and performed severe austerities. That is Pandu. And the kingdom was handed over to Dhritarashtra. But still Dhritarashtra could not digest the fact that Pandu was made emperor, not he. So this is the nature of most of us who cannot accept the destiny. And he lived a life of a person who was always discontented. He always felt he has been wronged. He always talked about justice. Justice was not done to me. We don't see. So many things are destined for us. He was born blind. That is destined for him. He was born to some father and mother. That is destined. So many things are destined for us. But something still, and those things we accept even without contemplating. We never contemplate why I was born in a specific family, why I was given a specific child or a son or a children. We never contemplate. We never contemplate on the overall destiny, because most of the things I am going through, I deserve. They're destined for me. It doesn't matter how well I have behaved in this life. But I have not seen the millions of lifetimes of my bad work. So Dhritarashtra is a category of Puranjana. They not only cannot accept destiny, they are very attached to their own so-called near and dear ones. He was so attached to his son Duryodhana, although he was the crooked number one, wicked number one. In fact, Duryodhana had no respect for his father. He never thought anything beyond his selfish aggrandizement or selfish needs. So, Dhritarashtra also knew who is Krishna. Dhritarashtra knew what is good and what is bad. He knew that injustice is being done to Yudhishthira and his brothers. He knew that Draupadi was brutally humiliated, disrobed. Still, he is under illusion. He is in moha for his son. And most of us are like Dhritarashtra, who are spiritually blind. Another kind of Puranjana, the chapter 1 of Bhagavad Gita introduced to us, is Duryodhana and his company. These categories, they never accept God. They're absolutely demoniac. Probably you might not be knowing Jarasandha, Kamsa, Shishupala, Duryodhana, Jayadratha. They were expert in Vedic rituals, Vedic sacrifices, Vedic charity. But they abhorred the very concept of God. They questioned the existence of God. They exhibited their absolute opposition and inimical nature to the existence of God. In fact, Duryodhana was shown the Virata Rupa by Krishna when he wanted to arrest Krishna. When Krishna came as a messenger on behalf of Pandavas to ask for 5 villages such that the war can be stopped. And the impudent Duryodhana had the guts to arrest Krishna. When Krishna showed his Virata form, Duryodhana cared less about such a possibility. Such demoniac people, there are plenty in this world, now also. They will never accept God. This is another kind of Puranjana. And then, the third category of Puranjana is Arjuna and his party. Arjuna is confused in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. But in that state of confusion, he surrenders to Krishna. Shishya te aham sadhi mam tvam prapannam. Please accept me as your disciple, as I am surrendering unto your lotus feet. This is Karpanya dosa paheta. Karpanya dosa. He recognizes that whatever argument I am giving not to fight, That is because of my miserly knowledge. So, using our limited senses, how much we can know, in spite of, I have gone through 8.4 million species of life, all that experiences that I have gone through are finally limited, minuscule of nature. When we contrast that, the experience of entering into the spiritual plane, conscious plane, which is unlimited. So, I will talk about that a little later. Let me first finish. So, there are 5 categories of Puranjana that are presented in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1. I talked about 3. Dhritarashtra, Duryodhana and his party, Arjuna, who's confused but ready to surrender to Krishna, and fourth is Sanjay. Sanjay, he hears the conversation between Krishna and Arjuna, and he is able to accept Krishna as the absolute truth just by hearing. So these are the 4 categories of Puranjana we see. And of course the 5th character that was presented in chapter 1 is Krishna himself, the absolute truth, the summum bonum of everything that exists. So out of these 4, of course, we as devotees, we are trying our best to surrender to Krishna. We may not be as successful as Arjuna. Maybe our position is like that of a Dhritarashtra. Internally, devotees pray like that. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami prayed in Chaitanya Charitamrita that I am just like a worm inside the stool. So we may be like Dhritarashtra, but we desire to be like Arjuna or Sanjay. So this discussion that is going on, it is our own story. Puranjana's story is our own story. We should not think Puranjan is somebody, another person, or it is meant only for Prachina Varishas. No. We represent Puranjana. And as Prabhupada gave 2 nice analogies here. One analogy he gave that as a king of this body is not mine. It is given to me by Krishna. But then I assume pseudo-proprietor of this body and I use this body for sense gratification, not for the service of Krishna. So this is one Puranjana. How a Puranjana uses the body according to his whims. And the other one Prabhupada gave, a king who has no qualification, he collects the taxes from innocent citizens and spends them for his own selfish needs or sense gratification. So this 2 analogies should help us how we are using this body. Are we using this body to liberate us, or we are using this body to be encased in another trillions of lives? Because every action that we perform creates another body. And we must know, let me finish this before I go to other direction. So there are Puranjana, and there are two things Naradji has introduced. One is Puranjana, that is me, you, each one of us. The other one is Abhigyata. So who is Abhigyata? The soul who is sitting in my heart, who is giving me direction from time immemorial. Whatever my desire, he satisfies according to my qualification. Right? He has satisfied all my desires in 8.4 different million forms, million bodies, millions, 8.4 million species. I have taken birth among aquatics, trees, plants, insects, reptiles, birds, animals, human being. Sometime I have become denizens of heaven. Sometime I have become king. Sometime I have become queen. Sometime I have become sweeper. Sometime I have become well-acclaimed scientist. Sometime I have become Brahmana. Sometime I have become birds, animals, all these forms. But during this entire journey, one person who has not deserted me is Krishna, a super soul. As Prabhupada quotes the verse from 15th chapter, Sarvasya chaham hrudi sannivishta mataha smrutir jnanam apohanam cha. This verse, using this verse, Krishna is telling that as super soul, he is controller. He is directing the actions in this body. Of course, this body is a product of three modes of material nature. And three modes of material nature, they act the way they get an environment. Three modes of material nature, this body consists of, and suppose I associate with something with mode of goodness, then mode of goodness within me gets dominant. If I am in a situation of mode of ignorance, immediately mode of ignorance dominates. If I am in a situation of mode of passion, or I subject myself to a environment which is mostly in mode of passion, then passion within me comes out. Prabhupada, in one of the purport, in 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita, he tells that Ajamila, who was performing severe austerity as a Brahmana, went to the river to take bath. And as he was returning, he saw a Sudra and Sudrani, they're embracing each other. So Prabhupada is saying, the lust that was there within the body of Ajamila suddenly became dominant. And once it became dominant, that took over. And we are not at all frightened about such a scenario. We never think that we may become a victim like Ajamila. Ajamila became victim to mode of ignorance. Because in this material world, padam, padam, yat vipadam. Every step there is a danger. And particularly Kali Yuga, every direction is mode of ignorance. We have to carefully insulate us. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, while he is instructing Rupa Goswami in the Prayag, in the matter of devotional service, he tells Rupa Goswami that this bhakti is a seed. Guru and Krishna, they plant within our heart. Now as a gardener, I'm supposed to take care of this seed that will grow into a creeper. So there is a watering process. And that watering process is Sravana and Kirtana. This Sravana and Kirtana nourishes this Bhakti Lata. But because of offense to the holy name, because of the past sin, because of different environmental situation, there can be many reasons. Other creepers may start growing, like the creeper of material desires, the creeper of sense gratification, the creeper of impersonalism, the creeper of demoniac spirit like Duryodhan. Anything they can grow. And Mahaprabhu is saying, is addressing Rupa Goswami and saying, be careful. Uproot all such creepers from the root. Don't allow them to grow. So as a gardener, it is my responsibility to allow this bhakti creeper to grow. And Mahaprabhu gives very nice analogy. He says this bhakti creeper grows and grows and breaks the barrier of the outer covering of this universe and grows further, crosses Viraja river, and then enters into the spiritual planet. Still grows until it reaches Goloka Vrindavan, and ultimately it takes the shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna. So this is how a very precious gift we are given by the grace of Guru and Krishna. So it is my misery, my misfortune, if I could not become a proper gardener. This is something that we have to meditate, introspect. We have to take this instruction of Mahaprabhu very seriously. In Bhagavad Gita, the story of Puranjana how he will become a liberated person. Krishna gives ample instruction. There are 18 chapters. Every chapter, Krishna comes up with a solution for Arjuna. And Arjuna would ask a question. Another chapter would come. another question, another chapter, another question, another chapter. Why questions are important? Questions will make no sense when we are not interested to perfect. If we don't understand my misfortune as a Puranjana, the story of Puranjana is very tragic. It's a very cruel story, pathetic story. It's a tragic story. This Puranjana has been ditched by his wife or husband, by his sons or friends. In many spaces, this Puranjana has suffered more dreaded Mahamaris, even dreader than Corona. This Puranjana story is very tragic, my dear friends. I don't think any Hollywood or Bollywood movie can ever even imagine this tragic story of this Puranjana. But only very fortunate Puranjanas who come in contact with a personality like Narada, they can realize their journey of misfortune and convert this life into an opportunity. In Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter, Krishna introduces transcendental knowledge. What is transcendental knowledge? Knowledge that descends from Krishna via Guru Sishya Parampara. Krishna is the source of this Parampara. Krishna is the heart of this Parampara. And Krishna is the ultimate embodiment of this Parampara, of the knowledge coming from this Parampara. So there, Krishna is advising Arjuna that if you want to remove your confusion, remove your ignorance, then you have to follow a process. What is that process? Tadviddhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya upadakshanti te jnaninam tattvadarshina. So Arjuna is being told that with proper humility, nobody can be spiritually potent, can be spiritually enlightened unless one has humility. We need to learn this humility from Rupa and Sanatana. Rupa and Sanatana, when they met Mahaprabhu in Ramkeli, they fell like a rod at the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu while putting a straw in their mouth. Mahaprabhu was so pleased that when he returned to Jagannath Puri, it appeared he has thousands of mouths to glorify Rupa and Sanatana. He said that they are so scholarly, they are so qualified, but the humility is a gem that endears these two brothers to everyone. He had all praise. Again, when Mahaprabhu met Rupa and Anupama, in Prayag, both the brothers again fell at the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu while putting a straw in their mouth. In fact, when we see a person of knowledge, a tattvadarshi, from whom we want to acquire transcendental knowledge, we must fall at their lotus feet, flat. Humility. Why? Because I know nothing. I am suffering. I am a Puranjana. I am a sense gratifier. I am like that worm. He's constantly gets soaked inside the stool. I am full of filth. I am sin personified. I am a patita. I am fallen. I want help. And here is my master. And who are my master? There is a sadhu. There is guru. There is shastra. I have to approach them with folded hand, with full respect. Tadvidhi pranipatena, pariprasnena. And when we want perfection, while drowning in the ocean of ignorance, the state of confusion is simply a natural consequence. Narada, just like Arjuna is confused, we need to ask question. Like Arjuna is asking question. Pariprasnena. So humility, submissive inquiry, and service. We all must render some service. Some of us, we do book distribution. Some of us, we maintain the temple. We worship the deity. We do pujari seva. We go out and preach. Some service. We start a project connected to Krishna consciousness. Somehow or other, some service must be done. When these three ingredients are there, then when this knowledge will be given to us, we will be able to appreciate it, accept it, and implement it within our life. So, in conclusion, I will talk three conclusive statements from chapter 3, chapter 4, and chapter 5 of Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna is confused. He was told in chapter 2, for Sankhya Yoga, by analysis, how can we understand? We are soul, we are not this body. And then Krishna spoke about Buddhi Yoga. So his natural question is, oh Krishna, when you are propounding Buddhi Yoga or Jnana Yoga, why you are simultaneously telling me that you must engage in ghastly warfare? So chapter 3 is the answer to this question. And Krishna is saying, nobody in this world can live without action. We are born with a material nature. According to our nature, we must accept a specific duty regulated by scripture. And when we engage in that occupational duty and connect that occupational duty to Krishna, that becomes karma yoga. So Arjuna asked this question. If we connect everything to Krishna or to the absolute truth, while trying so, something within us propels us to commit sin. Why? And Krishna says, it is lust. It is lust that propels us to commit ghastly sinful activity. And Krishna advises that through spiritual intelligence, guide the mind such that you will never commit in sinful activity. Because the moment we make mind our master, we will commit sinful activity. Mind must be guided. And in 4th chapter, Krishna is telling how to receive spiritual intelligence. Spiritual intelligence is received by the grace of Guru and Krishna. And 5th chapter, Krishna tells at the end that this spiritual intelligence, the ultimate form, is Krishna. He is the supreme enjoyer. He is the supreme proprietor. And he is my best friend. So this is how the Puranjanas like us must take instruction from Narada, from Krishna, from great acharyas, and perfect our life. Just like Prachina Varishat would accept the instructions of Narada and perfect his life. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dhanavad Pranam. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Guru Maharaj ki jai. What a wonderful class, Prabhu. It was so brilliant to hear from you. Really, really grateful to you. Prabhuji, one question.
Thank you,
so you're saying,
yes.
so we all are like type of Puranjana. So in every life, we, according to our actions and desires,
I am not able to listen, Mataji. Can you again repeat?
Yes, Prabhuji. So you were saying that there are like 5 types of Puranjanas, right?
Yeah, I said
Now,
the 4 types that were presented in Bhagavad Gita chapter 1. Yeah.
So
There
in
are
every
also
life,
other kinds.
we fall in one of those categories?
When we are talking about Puranjana, we refer only in the human form of life, because only in human form of life we'll be able to understand our miserable situation. We are born in other life forms, but there we cannot understand that we are suffering. So that is why human life is so precious. Only in this life we can understand. Yes. Can you again continue your question?
No, Prabhuji, you kind of answered it anyways. So yes, very true. In only the human form of life we can attain Puranjana. So it's based on our actions and desire. It can rise or it can fall, right, Prabhu? So
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Because as you saw, just I want to add a little bit here. You see that every moment of our life, we are getting an opportunity to use this body to perfect our life. We can surrender this body in the service to Krishna, or we can use this body for sinful activity. This freedom is given to us. So misuse of that freedom is resulting in ghora suffering or distress, dukkha, ghora dukkha, unsurmountable suffering. In fact, today before speaking, I was having conversation with my student. His sister died. Even to get over that thing is so difficult. And we never think that this can happen to us. Oh, I'm so young, I don't have to worry, I have so much of time left to think about God. No. Any time this opportunity can be taken away. Durlabha Manushya Janma. So, but we don't care. So we have to be so grateful to Srila Prabhupada and ISKCON society in general, when that at least we have a hope someone or other will remind us that we have to spend every moment of our life remembering Krishna, Sravana, Kirtana and Smarana. These three things should continue. Any other questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavad Pranam. Thank you for the beautiful question. Prabhuji, I have a question that often in even Srimad Bhagavatam we hear so many times, went to the north. What is the significance of going to the north, Prabhuji?
Very good question. In earlier time, people went to north means the Himalayas. North means always Himalayas. Vishwamitra went to north to perform severe austerities. Pandavas left towards north when Krishna left. Our Uddhava was sent by Krishna to Badrinath towards north. And north is very pious land. Ganges is flowing everywhere. You might have heard that how Radhanath Maharaj went in that direction, and while sitting near Ganga, he was initiated into Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So this is a tradition that was there from in Indian tradition, but as of now, it doesn't have as much significance as it used to be those days. Now we have three holy places we must go: Vrindavan, Jagannath Puri, and Mayapur. Prabhupada has given us these three places to go and to get inspired or spiritually surcharged. So basically, north means seeking the shelter of Guru and Krishna. So that is what we must take into note. Going to north means taking shelter of Guru and Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu, for that wonderful answer. Prabhuji, I just one thing is so far I always thought that the job of, I'm sorry if the job is the wrong word, but the duty of the super soul or Paramatma is always to guide us in the right path. So, but then I have been reading somewhere, and here also in this verse, particularly in the purport, Prabhupada is saying, in the next one also, super soul is the one, the driver who's making us do whatever we are doing.
Yeah,
so
bad or good thing.
Yeah.
See, Prabhupada has told that the knowledge that a thief gets to steal is coming from super soul. So, finally, without Krishna, we cannot lord over this material nature. Material nature is always acting under the direction of Krishna. We cannot direct even a single atom, even a very insignificant atom would not move because I want it to move. Because none of them, material energy is not my property. This is Krishna's property. So they will act according to Krishna. So I desire, even if I desire, you can imagine, in our life, when we started growing up, we had so many desires. All desires were not fulfilled. And there are many, many ghastly desires that are also not fulfilled. So, Krishna directs always us. And we don't, that is why he is avijnata. Actually, I forgot to expand on that thing. That's a very, very big topic. Super soul is here, but we never look towards him. Never. He is giving me direction, isn't it? When we practice Krishna consciousness, every moment we seek his help, we pray to him. He's here. He's here. And he alone saves me from so many pitfalls. Otherwise, every chance I have to be derailed from the path of bhakti. But somewhere I have done something. He takes that as a promise, that I have some promise that I can progress. In spite of my infinite failures, the Super Soul still thinks and still provides. In spite of my reluctance to be in the association of devotees, to be able to be guided by Sadhu, Guru and Shastra, even if I am reluctant, still he somewhere, creates a situation to be again further, I get reinstate myself in spiritual life. So Super Soul has, let me tell you, when I look at my life, Super Soul is the favorite friend. He does, suppose you had tremendous anxiety or this or that, you just go to bed, switch off yourself. Morning you get up, you will come up with light. There is some direction, definite direction from the Super Soul. And this always happens.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for that. So, when Super Soul is in the, anybody is for that matter, and when we do something wrong, when we do it for the first time, something from the inside will tell this is wrong or this is right. You feel it. And then people who continuously do things wrong, after a certain while doing it like 3/4 time, it will stop getting, he or she will stop getting that, sound from inside. So does Super Soul shut down that time and then give him or her more inspiration to do the whatever his or her
free will? Because when you don't want to, there are, like, Prabhupada gave one analogy. First class people, they hear. After hearing, they stop doing nonsense. And then the second class, they hear, but still they don't accept. They see someone is caught, penalized, and then they stop doing nuisance. And third class, they hear, they see, still they don't accept until they are themselves caught and punished, and then say, "Oh Krishna, I made a mistake." And fourth class is those who hear, see, caught, still they don't change. So we have to be, even if so this analogy says that we are so conditioned, we don't know what is my previous lives, what all are. But I can tell you, my dear friends, my dear devotees, each one of you are very special. Please accept me. I'm not flattering here. Each one of you are blessed soul. All that I want, I pray that we should dazzle in the service to Krishna. That's all. But all of you are blessed souls.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dharma Pranam, Auguri to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Very, very beautiful class, Prabhuji. Can I ask a question, if that's okay?
Yeah, please.
Prabhuji, in the beginning part, when you were talking about the 9 gates, and then you said when the soul departs from the body, you actually can come to know, looking at the body, where the destination of the soul is going to be. So could you explain on that part, please?
That we have seen this. I don't know. We have seen it. We have seen when people, they live through their eyes will become big, and then they will leave the body. And when they leave their body through anus or genital, then you can see that they might have urinated or passed to. These are things that we can easily observe, and we have seen that. In many cases, I have personally noticed. And but as devotees, we should not be worried so much about this. As Krishna says in 8th chapter, a devotee is completely dependent on Krishna. He always depends on Krishna, right? So we depend on Krishna. By depending on Krishna, you go to the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter, okay? So in 18th chapter, 18.55 to 66, these 12 verses are called juice of the entire Bhagavad Gita. So it starts with Bhaktya Mam Abhijanati Yavant Yachasmi Tatvatah Tato Mam Tattvato Gyatva Visate Tadanantaram. And so there, verse after verse, Krishna would say that my devotee, they constantly feel my protection, and they act while completely depending on me. And then he says, to such devotees, and he says, Arjuna, you are in this category, and hence I am giving you my supreme instruction. And my supreme instruction is Manmana Bhava Madbhakta Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru. Manmana, Sravana, Kirtana, Smarana, that is Manmana. Madbhakta, we perform devotional service. Somebody is doing the book distribution, somebody is running temple, somebody is distributing prasadam, somebody is giving lecture. Madbhakta, performing devotional service. And then Madhyaji, we worship him in the temple, in the Archa Vigraha form. 7 times we do arati. We offer varieties of foodstuff to the Lord according to our capability. Mam Namaskuru, we offer obeisances. So if you look at this supreme instruction, and this is what Srila Prabhupada has engaged us. Srila Prabhupada has engaged us in supreme instruction. I don't think that we are at the level of Arjuna. Krishna is saying, those who continuously depend on him and always continuously feel protection of Krishna, to them he gives the supreme instruction. But I don't think that we were at that level when we were given this instruction, this engagement. So the supreme instruction of Krishna, which is given to the Arjuna at his pinnacle of maturity of devotional life, has been given to us when we are almost, at least I am in my neophyte state. So that is how we are fortunate. And because we are engaging in the supreme instructions of Krishna, we should not have any doubt. You read and read the Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada says, he says, a sincere devotee, I'm forgetting exact sentence, but I am trying to recall. A sincere devotee, by following the instructions of Krishna, like the level that he has given, if reads Bhagavad Gita, hears Bhagavad Gita, then he sees Krishna face to face. in his personal presence. This is a very powerful statement of Prabhupada in Bhagavad Gita itself. So we are very fortunate. So let's not worry about 9 gates, how devotee, when one dies, what happens. But we are given the supreme instructions of Krishna, which normally, so many people read Bhagavad Gita. They will never understand what is Manmana Bhava Madbhakta Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru. And Srila Prabhupada has engraced all of us in this supreme instruction. And 8th chapter, Krishna is telling to Arjuna, don't worry. My devotee don't have to worry at what time they will leave, whether it is Uttarayana or Dakshinayana. Don't worry. I take care of them. I take care of them. Our job is to give ourselves to Guru and Krishna. Rest, Krishna will take care of. I hope I answered you.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So much for the very, very inspiring way you explained the entire thing. Surely I will read the part of the 18th chapter for more clarification. Thank you so much. Please keep coming, Prabhuji, for the classes. Thank you.
So any other question, or we end
Hare
this?
Krishna, Prabhuji. Done with pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, in your class, you said that in the one word, you said that we have to guide the mind. So, can you please elaborate, Prabhuji, on that part?
Very good question. I would like to answer that question. You see, mind is the only element in our body, psychophysical body, that is in mode of goodness. And mind will be only stable when we always associate in mode of goodness. Mind will become fickle when we associate with passion and ignorance, because that is its unnatural position. That is why in 18th chapter, Krishna will define knowledge, performer of knowledge, action, determination, understanding, happiness, all of them in 3 modes, indicating that we must recognize what is the mode of goodness and hanker for mode of goodness, because when we perform our devotional service, always staying in mode of goodness, and we connect ourselves to Guru and Krishna, then the spiritual intelligence that comes as a grace from Guru and Krishna will be able to soak me in such a way that that spiritual intelligence can guide my mind to act. Because ultimately, my hands, my legs, my senses must be activated. They are either activated by 3 modes of material nature, or they are activated by spiritual intelligence. Spiritual intelligence is derived by our association with Sadhu, Guru and Shastra. And as I told you, the ultimate form of spiritual intelligence is Krishna as he is. In particularly, when you look at as a Gaudiya Vaishnava, the absolute truth is the Panchatattva. That is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Acharya, Gadadhara Pandit and Srinivasa Acharya. Together, they are the Panchatattva. That is the absolute truth. And that is the spiritual intelligence. We have to recognize who represents what, who is the embodiment of what in this 5 things. These are all detailed presented in the in Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has explained these concepts. But The entire Bhagavad Gita itself is the knowledge of the about Krishna. So your question is that how do we guide mind? Two things we have to do. I have to associate with Sadhu Guru Shastra to receive the spiritual intelligence. But I can value the spiritual intelligence only if I am always in mode of goodness. It doesn't matter what is my nature. Whether my nature is that of a service provider, my nature is that of a Kshatriya, my nature is that of a Vaishya, my nature is that of a intellectual, doesn't matter. I must be always situated. That means my eating, matting, sleeping and defending. All these four actions must be in mode of goodness. If that happens, mind will remain stable. Mind will be fickle when I'm in passion or ignorance. So being situated in mode of goodness, making my mind stable, when I receive spiritual intelligence, that spiritual intelligence has enough potency, because that is directly coming from Krishna. Through the guidance of the Super Soul, mind will be activated to act in a spiritual way. So when I chant Hare Krishna, I'll be able to hear. When I read Bhagavad Gita, I'll be able to attentive. So everything will fall in place. Thank you.
Hari Bol, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Wonderful it is. You made the philosophy so simple to understand. Prabhuji, can I ask you, is it okay to contact you via email if we have to take your guidance on something?
Sure. My request to all of you is that we have started Learn Gita, Live Gita. There are 60 videos there, and there are 10 lessons. I would like you in your near and in your circle, if you can tell people to register for this course and do this course, that will inspire us to produce more and more material and put in the service of the devotees.
Definitely, Prabhu.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, all the devotees. And
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Do you need to go?
No. I'm free.
Okay. Yeah. I do have a question. Just for clarification, when you were talking about the 5 categories of Puranjana, right? And right. You said, Puranjana you define as king of this body. And so 2 questions I had about this. One is, the 4th category you gave was Sanjay, and that category of person, I think you're saying that such a person, he accepts the existence of God just by hearing about him or from him, right?
Right.
I mean,
actually, if you look at Sanjay, Sanjay's position is that he was specially blessed with Vyasadeva. So he is a person who is connected to Guru Parampara. We can also look at that way. So Sanjay is not confused like Arjuna, but still he gets, he has the mercy of Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva is a self-realized soul, but still he is able to appreciate Bhagavad Gita. And he says, Samsrutya, Roma Harsasya Jaya. When he's saying simply remembering this discourse that went on between Krishna and Arjuna, my hairs are standing on end. When you see here is a person, simply when he is connected to Guru Parampara, if he hears Bhagavad Gita, naturally his hairs would stand on end. So this is what is Sanjay's position.
But I'm wondering, as we said, Arjuna he surrendered, but he's confused. And, so both of them, they have, they are both connected to, let's say, Parampara, because Arjuna is connected to Krishna, Sanjay is connected to Vyasadeva. But so the only difference seems to be that Sanjay, what would you say, that he is a self-realized person? Is that fourth category? I'm just confused about really what this fourth category.
No, I would. Okay, very very good question. Let me make a clarification here. First of all, Arjuna is a pure devotee. There is no question that he will be under confusion. He was put under confusion by Krishna's arrangements. And he has, actually Krishna has pushed him to abyss of ignorance, that he is able to argue that let Duryodhana and his company come and behead me unarmed. For a Kshatriya, that is worse than death. No Kshatriya would accept that somebody should kill him, come and kill him unarmed. So that is the level of ignorance to which Krishna has pushed him. And why Krishna pushed him? Because he wants to be compassionate to all of us. He wants to. So Arjuna is a medium through which Krishna is pushing us from, for pushing all of us from the ignorance. So Arjuna is a character. When this character represents the state of confusion, who are ready to surrender to Krishna. So when we see here Arjuna as a character, he is not a character in himself, because Arjuna is a pure devotee. So he is a character that represents some of us who are confused, and we are ready to surrender to Krishna. So that is Arjuna. So when I say Arjuna confused, means not the Arjuna qua Arjuna, because Arjuna qua Arjuna is a pure devotee. And the specific aspect of Sanjay is that even those who are connected to Parampara, even if they are highly realized soul, they may be, but anybody who reads Bhagavad Gita, who hears Bhagavad Gita, who chants Bhagavad Gita, his hair should stand on end. And you will see in Srimad Bhagavatam, in the first canto, when Arjuna returns back from Dwaraka, after Krishna has departed for the spiritual abode. So when he returns, and Yudhishthira Maharaj finally asks him, what is the reason why you are looking so out of the place, you are so pale, and finally that time, after Arjuna reveals that Krishna has actually left, he is saying, I am simply remembering the instructions that Krishna gave me in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So basically, anybody who hearing Bhagavad Gita is not able to appreciate the beauty and aesthetics, the purity or the transcendental ecstasy that is contained in this discourse, he must be a fool. So the Sanjaya represents, just like we say, Sukadeva Maharaj was so pure, he was so Brahman realized, but Krishna's pastime attracted him. So in the same sense, even those who are connected to Parampara, they are situated even in pure goodness. Song of God, Krishna's message in the form of Bhagavad Gita, still is very attractive. I hope I made it clear.
So let me see if I can describe Sanjay, a Sanjay type person. A Sanjay type person, he, I guess, he has attained a level of purification, may not be completely pure, but enough purification to be able to appreciate the glories of God when they hear.
Right.
Like I said, again to repeat, not necessarily a self-realized person, but enough purity.
Yeah, it is. See, nothing in Bhagavad Gita we see, either this or either that. No.
Yeah. There's gradations always, right? Gradations.
Yeah. Correct.
Okay, and then one other question about these 5 categories. I didn't understand the fact that I think you said that the 5th category was Krishna himself.
No, Krishna is not Puranjana. I said that 5 categories were presented, 5 categories of character were presented in first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So the 5th category is Krishna, who is the Samam Bhavanam, anything, but he is not a Puranjana. He is a Puranjana, but he is a real Puranjana. He is Puranjana. Krishna is Puranjana, but he is a transcendental autocrat. He is the absolute Puranjana. He is a genuine Puranjana.
Okay, so the first 4, let's say they're conditioned souls.
Yeah.
But the 5th one is Krishna. So the first 4 are Puranjanas that are conditioned, and the 5th one is Krishna, who obviously is not.
Right.
Okay. It sounded like you were also I thought you were going to also discuss 5 categories where the first one was a conditioned soul who uses his body whimsically, right?
Right.
But then after that, I didn't hear any other categories. Or was that relating to these Puranjanas? I
said one category is Dhritarashtra.
Yeah. Those I understood. Dhritarashtra, Duryodhana, Arjuna, Sanjay.
Duryodhana and Sanjay. Yeah.
So when you said one category is that one who uses his body in a whimsical way, was that relating to one of these 5?
Prabhupada is explaining. This is all. This we have done it, right? Duryodhana is doing it. Dhritarashtra is doing it. Dhritarashtra also misused, Prabhupada is saying, a king who misuses the taxpayers' money, right? Similarly, Dhritarashtra allowed Duryodhana to misuse the treasury. So all these things are there. You can see. See, there may be other categories, but because I have been reading this Bhagavad Gita, so say chapter 1, this is all 5 categories we have, the characters, and so I try to correlate.
Okay, Prabhu, thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for this wonderful class today.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dandavat Pranam.
Are there any more questions for Prabhuji at this point? We have taken a lot of time of yours, Prabhuji. So again, Prabhuji, thank you so much for this beautiful class. It was really, really nice and very easy to understand manner. So thank you so much for that. Again, we are very grateful to you and really look forward to having your association again in future. With that, we would like to wrap up this call. So thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Dandavat pranam.
Vancha
All
kalparubhyo kripa sindhubhyayo
Pranam bhavanabhyo.
namo namah.
Namo Namo.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Great Lila Purushottam Prabhuji ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.